Well, as we've discussed thus far, you will be able to get loans. Now, while you're in Chapter 13, I mentioned this earlier, you absolutely must get the court's permission in order to get a loan. You cannot start incurring debt. And part of the reason for that is you're devoting money to paying your creditors through the plan. If you take out a loan, now you're going to have to pay on that loan. That will reduce the amount that's available to pay into the plan. As a result, we have to get the judge's permission. And there's a standard motion that we file called a motion for authority to incur debt. If it's a luxury that you're seeking to incur debt for, you're probably going to have an uphill battle. But if it's a necessity, well, the car died, I got to get a car to get to work. Those are usually granted unless there are some really unusual circumstances. You will be able to get loans. The larger the dollar amount, the more you're going to need to come up with a decent down payment to convince the creditor. And as I mentioned earlier, I have had a couple of cases where while my clients were in Chapter 13, they bought homes. But in those cases, the parents ponied up a large down payment to help out. And as a result, we were able to get those motions granted as well. Now, there was the additional wrinkle that when we submitted the motions, in each case, the rent that the debtors had been paying was just about the same as what the monthly mortgage payments were going to be. So as a result, from the creditor's perspective, it was a wash. It wasn't going to change the amount that they were going to get paid through the plan. So as a result, we didn't really get any kind of feedback from any of the creditors. There were no objections. And so the judge, well, there were different judges in the two cases. The judges granted those motions. My clients got their houses and everybody was happy.